So yeah, this presentation is kind of a two-part presentation that kind of just goes over in very broad strokes the library. Um, Tonight we'll talk about some of the library's resources and services and tools, and then the following Monday, on May 17th, we'll focus a little bit more on searching for academic literature using SearchUSA and other notable databases like PubMed, ProQuest, and all ones like that. Before I continue, everyone can see my PowerPoint slide. It should say the Basics USA Library. We can see that as well. Great, thank you, Joe. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to it, try to get through this. So just real quick, I want to kind of know the room a little bit. What are our program affiliations? You can chime in, or you can put in the chat. What are we looking at? Oh, PPOTD, all right, cool. Oh, I got a couple people trying to come in the room at the same time. So great. That's good to know. I guess the folks that are coming in the room right now, what's your program affiliation? Okay, PPO. So we had some post-professional folks here. Cool. Well, you came to the right place. This is a good place to learn about the library. I hear somebody. Oh, there we go. All right, so cool. So we have most of the post-professional room. That's awesome. That's great. So good to hear your program affiliation. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the quick announcements. There's somebody's mic is open. If you don't mind muting, that would be very helpful. Thank you. So just really a couple quick announcements. Of course, check our upcoming events page, which I assume that you all have found because you guys are here tonight. So that's great. Definitely check the events that come through on there. We do a wide array of events, ranging from little training sessions that are kind of like this, all the way to myself and another librarian. We will sometimes do like themed fireside readings, and there's also just different programming opportunities to visit and to check out. Also follow us on Facebook. We have a pretty robust Facebook team that posts content there regularly. So if you get the opportunity to go follow us on Facebook. So our agenda, what we're going to kind of talk a little bit about tonight, really just give you, and I mentioned this in the very beginning, sort of the broad strokes of the USA Library. Talk a little bit about some of the resources and services. We'll do a search using SearchUSA, which I'll explain more about that later, to find books and articles and things like that. We'll go into a little detail about finding full text and how to request a full text article through our Interlibrary Loan service if necessary. And then if you guys have any questions, I'd love to hear them. So first off, just to talk about our different campus libraries. We have 5 physical campuses and 1 virtual campus. Each campus is staffed with a librarian and a circulation manager. If you want to learn more about the actual campus library, there are on our library homepage, you'll see where it has the contact information for our different campuses, as well as their addresses and things like that. If you'd like to just kind of know where some of our other campuses are, as you can see, we're kind of spread out all through the country, really. So we have 2 campuses, as you can see, in Texas. We have 2 in Florida, and we have 1 in California. And of course, we have the large global online campus as well. So those are your libraries. Our campus libraries, we boast a pretty wide variety of items, most of which can be checked out. So due dates for a lot of these items depend on the item itself. So like, for example, reserve materials may check out for 2 hours and they must stay on campus, whereas like a circulating book can check out for 14 days. Now, in the wake of COVID, we did make some adjustments when it comes to things like borrowing items. I'll put this actually in the chat because it's a lot of information, but we have a checkout services page, which really just goes through, like, if you would like to check out a physical item from the library, there's kind of a protocol to go through. It's not very complicated. Actually, it just got a lot easier. So if you want to know, the information about checking out items from one of our physical campuses, that link that I just put in the chat will give you a lot of information there. It covers, how to make reservations, how to do renewals and pickups and things like that. And there's lots of great step-by-step procedures and videos that will help you with this process. Currently, we are offering, and this is just starting now in May, we are offering campus checkouts without a reservation or appointment. So there's like a whole schedule that's on that page as well. So if you're interested in checking out physical items from one of our campuses, definitely check out the library checkout services page. So our physical collection will range everything from physical books to physical journals, to our treatment tables, to bone models, to wheelchairs, to OT assessments. We have a very creative collection. So yeah, we have some really interesting stuff in the collection, and I'll show you some of it as we move along. So we're going to head over to the library's website really quick, which is sort of your main conduit to the library. And I'm just going to point out a couple of things of importance as we go along. First things, if you want to know about the library's website, the library website tutorial is really one of the best places to start, other than talking to me. If you're looking for something, use our Search USA. So Search USA is kind of like the library's Google. It searches our entire collection. So that's going to be our physical items, our electronic items, all in one place. And yeah, so it's a great tool to use, and we'll do some work in there right before we end tonight. So if you're in the mood for some entertainment, as I mentioned earlier, our upcoming events, we always have something going on. Our events area sort of highlights our upcoming webinars or trainings, and we are also now offering virtual hours or virtual office hours. Usually the virtual office hours are set up by a librarian, and it's usually just like a marked off period of time, like 4 to 5 or something like that, where if there is a librarian that's on duty, you can just sort of drop in and ask them questions. So yeah, so that's definitely available. And if you need some help, prior to working with one of our librarians via the virtual office hours, you can also use our virtual chat service along with our email address, which is library@usa.edu. And I don't know if you can see it completely here on the page, but it's right below the chat box that's right there. So let's go take a little bit closer look of the library. Oh, I'm sorry, we're not finished yet. I just hit the wrong button by accident. Almost finished. Let me, does anybody have any questions really quick? I'm just kind of pausing to share my computer screen. Are we good? Everything's good? All right, sounds like it. I'll take the silence. So just real quick, in the chat, everybody can see my screen. It's the library's homepage. You can see everything was good. I'm waiting for Jill. No. All right. So I'm assuming everybody can see the library's homepage here. So as I mentioned before, there's a lot to unpack here, and I'm going to try to fit it all in just the next few minutes, I guess. But of course, feel free to follow along with me as well. Let me go through some of the tabs that we have here. So of course, up there at the very top, that's your main access point to Search USA. You'll see it says find books, articles, videos, and more. That would be where you would insert, you know, search terms or whatever you are, you know, actually looking for. That's this place for it, and that'll search USA. Now, a lot of people miss this often, but in the search bar that's right up here at the top of course, it, you know, right beside it, it'll say that whatever you put into the search bar is going to search USA. But you can also search different parts of the library as well. So in Search USA, it has a little drop-down menu here, and it allows you to search for items via Search USA through the library catalog, or search the library's website. Now, the library catalog is basically a inventory of the library's physical holdings. It's what is located on our campus. So you can search the library catalog if you want for physical items or anything like that, but of course you can also search the library catalog plus the library's electronic resources just by using Search USA. But I always find that the searching website feature is helpful, and it's often overlooked too. So I just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that. Our resources tab right here, of course, Search USA. This is the other access point to Search USA, and I'll show you real quick. So of course, Search USA, you can enter the terms up here at the top, as well as here in this different interface here as well. We have our databases list, which these are all of the databases that the University of St. Augustine for Health Sciences subscribes to. So of course, some of the top ones in say, health sciences, we definitely have for you All Complete. We have Dynamed, which is a great point of care tool, ProQuest, which is sort of a it's a conglomerate as far as like the types of sources that are in there and different subjects. I would say ProQuest is one of the most diverse collections, probably. There are items, the subjects will range in that particular collection, everything from business information to health sciences, all the way to art. PubMed, of course, is the main health sciences free database, which is supported by the National Library of Medicine. We also have Web of Science as well, which is a very popular one. For those in education, we have ERIC as well. That's a great database. And so yeah, we have a large collection of them, and each of these little menu items, if you click the plus, it'll show you databases by discipline. So if you'd like to check that out, go ahead and take a look. Let's go back up to resources here. Our ebook collection, our ebooks. We have a pretty massive ebook collection, and our ebooks are searchable through Search USA, and they're also can be viewed through our different vendors that we have here. So through Lippincott, through ProQuest, through Ovid, and through Credo Reference, as well as EBSCO. So you can click on these and you can search for books, or search them all using Search USA. So these are some of our more popular textbooks. I would say most of these are residential, first professional books for the most part. They're also, we have them kind of lumped into different, subject areas as well here, as you can see, for research and practice ebooks, leisure and relaxation ebooks. Believe it or not, we have lots of great ebooks that are not necessarily school-based. We have lots of the literary classics, collections of short stories, as well as graphic novels, just in case you'd like to take a break from your studying. You can always check out some of these. There's a couple of trainings that cover the ebook collection. So if you're interested, they're right down here. One of them is kind of like a webinar that goes into a lot of detail about the ebook collection. That would be this one right here. But then there's also one here that talks about searching for ebooks using Search USA. So definitely check out some of this stuff if you get the opportunity to. Our videos and interactive tools section, this is where you can access the USA video library, which will have different in-house university produced content, whether it's anatomy examples, there's anatomy examples, class procedures and things like that, and you would locate some of that video content there. This is also where you can access Visible Body, which is our very cool interactive anatomy tool. It's available through your desktop, and there's also a mobile component. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about Visible Body, tomorrow I'm actually going to be leading a session just like this that goes into some of the details about Visible Body. But it's a great tool for anatomy and physiology. Here are some of those other tools that we have for anatomy and physiology, and others down here that if you'd like to check out, by all means do so. Some really interesting stuff there. Our journal collection. So of course we have a physical journal. We have physical journals on our campuses, but a good way to search all of our journals, whether they're the physical kind or the ones that are electronic, you can come to our journal finder, which is right here, connect to journal finder. And this is how you can browse the library's journal collection. Of course, we have, hundreds of thousands of journals and articles and things like that. And they're all divvied up by discipline here. So if you'd like to peruse information of nursing and allied health, you could click on nursing and allied health, and it would give you pretty much like our collection of nursing and allied health journals would appear. And so you see there's about 790 that we do have there alone, and they're also broken down by subjects as well. So nursing, psychiatry, and so on. So yeah, that's Journal Finder. That's how you can kind of search our journal collection. Of course, you can also do that by using Search USA as well. Again, you will probably hear me say this a few times that Search USA also searches that as well. So full text tools, we'll talk a little bit about that in just a few minutes. But SOAR, I'd like to bring your attention to that. That is our university's scholarly open access repository. It basically collects the university's research output. So it's a very interesting collection of what has been produced and that has been published by our faculty, staff, and students. It's a good opportunity to check that out. Our services tab that's right here is the Ask-A-Librarian tab, which is basically our chat window. Currently, the reason why the chat window is not popping up here and it says it's currently offline is because I'm here talking to you guys. So that's the reason why that's currently offline. A lot of the times it is not offline, but so yeah. So in Ask-A-Librarian, that's where you would find that. Interlibrary Loan, which I'll talk about when we do a quick search in Search USA. Interlibrary Loan is for articles, books, book chapters, that we do not have. I'd say usually, this is a free service, by the way, our interlibrary loan service. So if something happens and let's say we don't have a specific article or something like that, we can get it for you. We are, our interlibrary loan service is probably one of the best services that we have. Usually, if you order an article through us, I would say it normally would take the sort of average turnaround is, I believe, it's the company line is 2 to 5 business days, but it's usually the average is like 2 business days or less. So if you're looking in Search USA or in one of the databases and there's an article that you would really like to check out, but unfortunately we don't have it, contact us with this interlibrary loan form. There's also a interlibrary loan form that is set up in Search USA as well. So always know if we don't have something, we will get it for you as best as we can, and it's a free service, so that's awesome. So for printing, copying, and scanning, this is more for campus-based students, but if you wanted to know some information more about that, you would take a look at that. Our checkout services, that was the link that I shared a little while ago. Alumni information as far as library usage, all of that information is housed here. And there's a page for online education. There's a faculty and staff page as well. And our digital care package is really cool too. I'm only going to go through just a couple more quick tabs really quick, and then we'll do a search, and then we'll ask some questions. Our library guides, which are really helpful as well. These are basically library sponsored information hubs that are, basically we will, go out and say, for example, this one right here for anatomy is basically we've created a page that actually brings together all of the libraries anatomy resources, and then puts them in one place. So if you needed the information about the some of the video content that is available about anatomy, you can come here and you can view that. You can also look at the eBooks and then find out about the campus holdings as well of our spine models and muscle models and so on. So so these guides are kind of just information hubs, really. So we have a lot of different topical guides ranging from advanced database searching to citation managers to copyright to the ebook shelf, as well as evidence-based, as well as some that are for courses as well. So there's one here that's evidence-based practice for healthcare professionals. That's a course design page, which is just sort of set up, just to help the students that are in that course navigate the library easily. There's actually one here for the interprofessional education and private practice class, which I believe is IPE 7001. And so this is just one that just sort of brings together a lot of the different things that you go over in that course from a library's perspective. So as far as gathering together different interesting searches within professional education or through some of our databases, one through PubMed, one through CINAHL and ProQuest and eBooks and things like that. So you kind of get the idea. Let's go back to the tabs really quick. We talked about the upcoming events and we're defining that. The About Us page, this goes through our staff directory. It also goes through policies, the history of our library, as well as if you have any feedback for us, you can go there. Let's go back to the homepage really quick. I'm going to, I've got about 4 minutes. I'm going to do a quick search and we'll talk a little bit about the search. Does anybody have any questions right before I do the search, or are we good? We're just going to proceed. If you have, you can put them in the chat or you can ask them. I'm just going to do a quick search for a topic. Oops, be helpful if I could type. So I'm just going to do a quick, I see somebody has a question in the chat. Can you do a search related to OT? Yes, sure. Do you have one that you would like me to do? Because I don't mind doing that. Is there one that you'd like to search? Oh, occupational therapy. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Just occupational therapy. Okay. So you just enter the search terms there that are in the tab or in that particular search box, and you go. The default search option is keyword searching, which is just basically putting in the text and then going from there. But just on occupational therapy in general, of course, because of our school, we have a pretty substantial collection of things, all occupational therapy. I would say let's go through the results page really quick, just to kind of show you what's what as we're going here. So when you do a search, it will sort by relevance. Based on your search terms, it will basically use an algorithm to say, okay, so you're probably looking for this first. So it's going to be aligned like this. You'll also see these different icons here. One's for eBooks right here. You'll see one. Here's another one for eBooks. There are a couple different icons for eBooks. You'll see one for academic journals. One for this is a physical book actually right here. And so is this one. But let's go through. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a few minutes. But let's go to our limiters and filters that are over here on the side. So if you want to limit your search for occupational therapy just for the catalog only, remember the catalog is most of the library's physical items. And we also catalog our eBooks as physical items. So those will appear there as well. So what you're going to be seeing here is going to be pretty much a collection of eBooks as well as physical books. And if it's a physical book, you'll usually know because it will give you the campus location will pop up here as well. So like for this Willard and Spackman's occupational therapy book, we know that there is an ebook copy, but the book physically is located in the Austin campus, the Dallas, Miami, San Marcos, and St. Augustine campus, and the same with this one as well. Let me show you what some of the ebooks look like, just to kind of give you a look at what an ebook looks like. So our ebooks don't exactly work like, say, that they might with maybe like the public library or with Amazon. They're not necessarily checked out. They are viewed through your internet browser. So this would be the book that we would view. And to view the book in its full text, you would just go to the PDF full text icon that's right here on the side on the left. And this does happen sometimes. This is a very popular book, so it is in use. And this does happen where a book is currently in use, and you may have to wait a few minutes for that book to be available. Our ebooks work on this. They work on user licenses. So, for instance, when you purchase an ebook through an academic publisher, they will provide you with usually either 1 to 3 user licenses, which means that if the book only has 1 user license, then it means that only 1 person can actually view that book at a time. And as I said, there are others that allow you with 3 user licenses where 3 people can be viewing the content at the same time, only in one. And so this is definitely one of the reasons why that if, say, for instance, that this is a required textbook, that it's probably best bet to purchase the book, because this kind of stuff happens all the time because these are shared resources. So we can always come back to that later to view it. I would say usually if you do run into that situation where the ebook is in use, to maybe come back in about 30 minutes or so. And I say that because sometimes a session will go idle, and if the book isn't engaged after 30 minutes or so, the user session ends typically. So I always tell people, if they're really need to use an ebook, that can sometimes just be the case, that it's in use and somebody just used it for a few minutes and they left it open on their screen, but it does usually time out within a pretty good amount of time. So let's go back. I'll show you one that actually you can see what it looks like. Let's see, there's going to be a lot of these are going to pop up here, but we'll come back to ebooks in just a few minutes. As far as, we'll go back to this other limiter. You can also limit items by peer review. Ooh, I think I'm a little bit over time, so I'll kind of hurry up here. You can limit content, whether it's if it's been peer reviewed. You can also limit full text. There's also limiters for dates for different source types. If you're only looking for academic journals, you can activate the filter here for academic journals, and that's all that it'll show you. You can also use the search engine's controlled vocabulary to better sharpen your searches. You can use that as well. It's an additional filter. And then of course you can check out information by publisher, by publication, language, geography, and content provider. So SearchUSA is a search engine which searches all of the library's resources, as I mentioned before, our physical collection, as well as our different databases and whatnot. The only database that it actually doesn't search is ProQuest, which you can link out to here or on the side under additional resources. And we'll come back to that later. But yeah, so you can usually link out to ProQuest that way, and then you can also link out to PubMed. Now, if you've done a search in SearchUSA, and if you want to continue that search maybe in PubMed, you can click on it, and that initial search will actually still be there for you, but in our but in the PubMed database instead. So let's see, I have a couple questions, and I'll go through those in a few minutes. So this is pretty much where we stop tonight, and for the next session that is starting next, that starts at the same time next Monday, it'll be more about searching. So it'll be a lot more bits about keyword searching and things like that. But this is kind of where we're stopping tonight. Right before looking, I'm sorry, I had to open up the chat really quick. Jill, what book are you trying to find in Miami, or trying to find this book in Miami? Which book are you trying to find? Well, I'm waiting there for Jill. The history of occupational therapy. Okay. Oh, I think I misunderstood your initial question. Okay. So what I would do normally is I've just copied and pasted copied what you sent me, and make a couple corrections there. And let's see if we have it. I'm not sure if we have it or not. So yeah, there it is right there. Looks like we have, it's a circulating book, which of course means that it checks out for 14 days at a time. Unfortunately, we do not have an ebook copy for this book, which does from time to time happen. It shows, okay, Jill says, oh, it shows that it is available, but when I do the checkout, it only shows that it's in Texas. I guess I don't really understand your question, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. I'm going to go back up to another question that is about the APA manual in the 7th edition via the library. Actually, we do not have a copy in the library, but rather it's through the Writing Center, which if you go back to the library's homepage, you can go to Writing Center right there. And you can, this is where you would set up an appointment and all that stuff. But to get to the actual Writing Center's homepage, you would just scroll down to Writing Center appointment scheduling limits. And then it has this link to the Writing Center. Of course, you can go to the Writing Center through your My USA page. But as far as like APA, anything with APA, they have you covered here for sure. I would go on the sidebar here under Writing Center, and they have APA 7th edition style and referencing. This is where you can use Academic Writer. There's also a few APA 7th edition instructional manuals here as well. The APA, if I'm not mistaken, the APA Academic Writer is basically it's the official APA online source. So it's so you could use that as well. The Writing Center it has some really great stuff on here where they have tried to cover a lot of the different questions that get asked about APA, as far as like capitalization guides, citing images, copyright and permissions, number statistics. They have different checklists and all this other stuff. Then below it, of course, they have different training videos and things like that for APA. They also have the APA style edition style and grammar guidelines here, and they have looks like, yeah, this is where you can also access the manual. But I will point out that they do have a lot of reference formats and examples that are on here as well. So if it's like trying to cite a book or something, they have you covered with this as well. They have lots of different types of examples, so even all the way down to course PowerPoint slides and how to cite that via APA. That's definitely doable as well. So anything with APA as far as the style guide itself or any questions you have, the Writing Center is definitely there to help you. So we'll come back to Jill's question in just a minute, but does anybody else have any questions? Does everybody feel a little bit better about it? It's a lot of information, that's kind of squeezed into this time. That I always say 30 minutes, but I typically, we usually go a little bit longer in case anybody, thinks of a question afterwards. But again, if you want to learn more about like searching the library and searching some of the databases that we have, definitely stop in next Monday and we'll do a little bit more search focus. But like I said, this one's sort of a broad view of the library. I'm trying to think if there's any, I feel like I'm forgetting something, but for the most part, that's pretty much the basics. And I would definitely encourage you all to stop in or to stop in to use some of the stuff that we talked about tonight, and just go investigate it on your own. Let me stop sharing. I'll put up my contact information because now I think about it, I don't remember I actually introduced myself at all tonight. Let me go to my thank you slide that has my contact information on it now. Sorry. All right. So, like I said, I didn't necessarily introduce myself at the beginning, but if you guys have any questions, my name is Ryan Gaylor. I'm the distance learning librarian for the University of St. Augustine. So anything that you have questions about what we covered tonight, or, just anything, you can email me. That's my direct contact, rgaylor@usa.edu. And of course, any general questions about the library, you can always just email us or chat with us. We'll definitely try to help you out. So again, thank you very much. Any questions or anything like that, you want to sit around and talk for a few minutes, that's fine too. Let's try to figure out Jill's question about the book availability as well. Let's go take a look at that real quick. I'm curious now. Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, so yeah, if you guys are finished and you guys want to go, that's perfectly fine. But yeah, I really appreciate you all coming out tonight, and yeah, I hope to see you guys next week if you're interested more in searching. All right, you're welcome. So let's figure out this history. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now. So bear with me.